Testing of the 18,000-pound simulates various water lanes, simulated about 47 miles per hour.
Reconfiguration of the spacecraft for the post-LOI, concealed fall protection.
The gravity recovery 5 p.m. Eastern New Year's Eve, followed by Grail B on New Year's Day at 5:43 p.m. Eastern. Some 60,000 high school students and robots built in 6 weeks from a common kit of parts. The finalists of the 2,400 competing teams will meet at the first championships in April at the Edward Jones Dome. In case you missed it, here's your chance to marvel at the unprecedented imagery of Comet Lovejoy, captured in late December by Expedition 30 Commander Dan Burbank from the International Space Station's cupola. Burbank described what he saw in an interview with Detroit's WDIV-TV.
But it's probably the most spectacular thing you can imagine. And from the vantage point of space, it's different than seeing it from planet Earth because there's no intervening atmosphere to see.
Southern California, designed to gauge public attitudes towards sonic booms.
Rolling in 3, 2, 1, now. Copy, Mark.
Created by NASA FA-18 test aircraft.
With Whisper, we're trying to get how annoying was this low boom, how annoying was this more moderate boom.
NASA and industry are working on technology that will reduce the noise and annoyance associated with sonic booms.
Overland sonic booms. If sonic booms can be projected over land, right now the rule is no sonic booms over land.
This study will be a valuable guide for future public perception studies against sonic booms.
They're obviously very familiar with sonic booms. Eventually we want to take this to a broader level where people that's never heard of sonic boom. So first we need to figure out how to do that.
Atlas V with Curiosity.
NASA's car-sized Curiosity rover may be on cruise control to Mars, but that doesn't mean it's not working hard along the 8-month-long trip. Radiation Assessment Detector, or RAD.
Trainer, the shuttle motion simulator, to Texas A&M.
This isn't going to go to Texas A&M just as a museum piece. It's going to be able to be used to be educational material for and research facilities for future generations.
The shuttle motion simulator. The shuttle motion simulator will take place in early 2012.
NASA astronaut Barry participating in pre-game ceremonies of the clash of his hometown Tennessee Titans. Wilmore made other appearances in the Nashville area to spread holiday cheer and share his experiences aboard Space Shuttle Atlantis and the International Space Station on STS-129 in 2009. 15 years ago, on January 12, 1997, from the Kennedy Space Center on STS-81. About 66 hours later,
capture.
During 5 days of mated operations, nearly 6,000 pounds of water, U.S. science equipment, and Russian logistical equipment were transferred from Atlantis to the Russian complex. STS-81's 10-day mission brought home astronaut John Blaha after a 118-day stay. John Grunsfeld, who's just taken over as the new head of NASA's Science Mission Directorate.
Speaking on behalf of President Obama, NASA Administrator Charles Bolden addressed celebrants at the 44th Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative Service held at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. Bolden, who has family ties in Atlanta,
met Dr. King in person. My family members in Atlanta who knew him in the neighborhood.
He's correct at 72nd. Okay.
The next 3 crew members of the International Space Station talked about their upcoming mission aboard the orbiting laboratory in a news conference from the Johnson Space Center.
Really the main reason that we're up there is to conduct science, and now that we are at station complete, our goal is to get the 35 hours a week of utilization or time working on experiments. So we plan on putting a lot of time into that. It's really the main focus. I'll be up there with Don Pettit, who is just phenomenal. He's a genius and he has a lot of great ideas. So I'm hoping I can piggyback on some of the things that he's doing and bring those back to the students that may be watching.
NASA astronaut Joe Acaba and Russian cosmonauts Gennady Padalka and Sergei Revin will continue to train ahead of their scheduled March 29th launch aboard a Soyuz spacecraft from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Acaba, Padalka, and Revin are 3 of the 6 crew members comprising Expeditions 31 and 32. Aboard the station, they'll join NASA astronaut Don Pettit, Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko, and European Space Agency astronaut Andrei Kuipers. Goddard Space Flight Center financial manager Matthew Ritzko was recently treated to a White House visit where he was personally congratulated by President Obama as the winner of the 2011 Presidential Securing Americans Value and Efficiency, or SAVE Award. Implementation has already begun of Ritzko's money-saving idea to establish a NASA lending library for sharing specialized tools across the agency. Ritzko says the award was special, but his visit with the president was priceless.
For me, making the visit to the White House was very humbling, and it was something I will always carry with me for the rest of my life.
The discovery was made using Hubble's Wide Field Camera 3. These new images were captured by NASA's Dawn spacecraft as it continues to orbit the rocky asteroid Vesta. And collaboration between NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory and the National Science Foundation-funded Atacama Cosmology Telescope in Chile has yielded the discovery of the largest galaxy cluster seen in the distant universe. Located more than 7 billion light-years from Earth, the El Gordo galaxy is hotter, more massive, and produces more X-rays than any other known cluster. This winter gathering of the AAS, often called the Super Bowl of astronomy, attracts thousands of astrophysicists, educators, students orbit during the 30-year shuttle program, teaching asteroids and other destinations in the solar system. Bill Gerstenmaier
says James Webb Space Telescope has reached another major milestone in its development. The last 6 out of 18 total primary mirror segments at the X-ray and cryogenic facility at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, a 10-week test series chilled minus 379 degrees Fahrenheit. During 2 test cycles, measurements of how the mirror's shape changes as it cools. Cryo testing verifies that the mirror will respond as expected to the extreme temperatures of.
This test campaign has spanned over 3.5 years.
Various water landing scenarios.